what we've done is we've isolated a piece of the background, and inside of that yellow square is the tree branches that are above the fence. And then when we get to the other square, so bring that over, and that's off to the side. So we know that that's real. That's part of the environment. And now we've got the head that comes in with the smoke around it and the cloaking or whatever. And we've identified this same exact area that we identified before, same exact area, and then bring it up and compare it side by side and pause it there. This is not part of the background. This is an artifact that this being, through its technology, some kind of a lag in its cloaking device, in that because it's cloaking with whatever background it's in where it was before. And because this film that we're looking at here is only 0.8 of a second, there must have been some lag time between that cloaking technology transferring while it moves. So this, in this square here, does not belong to the background. This belongs directly to the shadow being that is projecting it from a different location. That's my hypothesis. But clearly it's an anomaly that doesn't belong there, and there is no earthly explanation for that to happen. So we used AI software to analyze all this, and inside of that yellow square right there, that kind of a weird shape there, there are a number of pixels, and those pixels have been diminished by 66%. It's a weird number, but that's the number that we got when we did the computer software analysis. These pixels have been deleted by 2/3. There's no explanation for that whatsoever, other than some sort of a force or technology or something that is interfering with the camera's ability to capture the image. You know, we're going to get a lot of debunkers out there saying, well, how do we know that the original video doesn't have a foreign artifact in it? So my question to you, as an expert in the field of computer animation, video editing, video analysis, what have you been able to determine with regard to the original video and whether or not this thing that we see here, this entity? So my question to you is, how can we be so sure that the original video does not have any artifacts in it adding in these beings?
The key point to notice this, it's the lighting, like I said before in a previous meeting. So you can be sure that there is something in the video, because normally when we do digital compositing, there is a way or path that normally you can see in the pixels, because as you know, at the moment to add other elements, make some overlays at the moment to create the compositing, you can see the different in the pixelization and the pixels. But this video has not been altered in any way. It's a original source. It's a original video. After a review several times and use a special software to track all this motion, vector motion, I noticed that the shadow that you can see over the fence in reality it's in the video, and you see it matches perfectly the motion of the shadow behind.
Yes, it does.
See this little square here. It represents the motion of the foot, the leg.
That is so convincing to me. The motion of the leg, and keep going like this is so critical, because you can clearly see through the slots in the fence that there is a leg motion moving from the right to the left side of the screen. And clearly it is behind there. So this isn't just like a head floating in space. This is a head of that is somehow that does not have full opacity. I think you previously determined that the opacity of the head of the shadow is only at about 33% opacity versus a normal shadow, which would be at 100% opacity, or an object in the screen, which is at 100%. And this isn't anything that you did. It's just what you were able to determine, that this shadow being, or this being in the shadows, possibly creating its own shadow or smoky filter or cloaking technique, is not only cloaking itself from the people there, but cloaking itself from the camera itself, in that it's minimizing our ability to identify pixels inside of that shadow.
Exactly, exactly.
This is a compilation of all of the footage with regard to evidence of the meteor. So we've got official dash cam footage from the Las Vegas Police Department. We have several ring cameras. We can see, what people are saying is a fireball. But let's take a look. See, I've seen shooting stars, and that looks way too big. So now we've got exact time and location. This is infrared. So this is infrared. So it looks green on infrared. And now optical without heat signature. So this is not showing heat. If that was a meteor, it would have a massive heat signature because it's a fireball, right? But there's no heat signature. So now we've got a long wave infrared, and now there's no meteor. And now the next thing I want you to listen to in the other clip that has audio with the alleged meteor, and we can hear a consistent audio in all of the footage. Take a listen. So I think we've isolated the object, we've isolated the audio. There is a sound with this thing as it comes through the air. There is no sound with the meteor, with the shooting stars. You don't hear them, okay? But if you look at the one in Las Vegas, you hear that one. Why?
Now, mind you, this is 1 second exactly of footage, which has about 30 frames in it. And this is at 50% speed. This is about 45% speed. I could slow it down to 10% speed, and we could try to see every single frame that's available there. But then you lose the movement, and I think the movement is what's the compelling part of this, because if it's just a shadow or it's some kind of visual anomaly, well, shadows aren't going to move like that. Your imagination isn't going to move like that. You can't manifest something to move inside the screen. And I think that's why I like this video, is because you can clearly show something in the background that at least the first two, Angel and the uncle, or his father, I think his father, that they're reacting to. And it makes sense to me that that's what they're reacting to. And whatever it is, it's moving.
Well, to me, I applied the same principles that I would apply to any kind of a homicide investigation, right?
Yes.
And you have to look at the totality of the evidence. And you're going to have debunkers that'll be like, well, but the shadow, it could be this, that, or the other. No, it cannot. And I want to open this up. Everything that we've done, I'm opening it up for peer review. Okay. Anybody out there with a degree in photography, anybody out there who's a qualified expert witness in video analysis like I am, anybody out there with a master's degree or higher in education in video analysis, video editing, photography, film development, computer animation, and so on and so forth, bring it on. Look at what I've put on my YouTube channel. Look at what Jim and I are going to talk about today. And I'm willing to hear what professionals in my field have to say about this and open it up. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I think that the evidence at this particular time with what we've seen here is proof, couple things, that these entities, both in the background and in the foreground behind the fence, are real. They're there. This is not fake. This is not a fraud. I guarantee it. 100%. These two items, these two beings are in the real world environment with the Kenmore family. That's a fact. It's an absolute fact. That is there, and the one in the background is there. 100%, beyond any reasonable doubt, these beings are there. Now, the question is, who are they? Where are they from, and what do they want? That's where the conversation goes after this presentation, Jim. The reality is confirmed. They're there. These people have experienced an extraterrestrial reality, interdimensional, whatever, whatever term you want to put on it. But these are non-human intelligent beings that are there in the real world. It's there. This is proof.